Hi, welcome to Living Your Limitless Life. I'm Kayleigh Kennedy, business and mindset coach, mom, and your no BS guide to breaking through the stories holding you back. This podcast is your space to get real, get inspired, and get moving. Each week, I'll share the mindset shifts, strategies, and stories that have helped me and my clients build lives and businesses that feel as good as they look. If you're ready to stop playing small and start living big, you're in the right place. Let's go. Hello and welcome back to Living Your Limitless Life. It has been a while. I've been on a little bit of a podcast hiatus over the past 6 weeks or so, but I am so excited to be back with you today. I want to catch you up on some of the awarenesses that I've had, some of the things that I've been working on, and honestly, just some of the most powerful shifts that I've witnessed in other people over the past couple weeks, because there's just been things happening that I feel like I have to talk about. And I'm so grateful all of my listeners in this platform to allow me to share. And I hope that you get a ton out of this episode. Last week, I hosted a 3-day free virtual workshop that I called the Visibility Challenge. And I want to be honest with you, it was so much more than that. It was not what people were expecting, because it wasn't about posting more or showing up on Instagram every day or cracking the algorithm or creating the perfect content calendar or showing up consistently or any of those things. What it was really about is helping people uncover the blocks, the internal blocks, the deeply ingrained patterns that are keeping them stuck and keeping them playing small and keeping them from showing up in what I like to call our unapologetic energy, which is essentially just our authentic selves. And that unapologetic energy, I want you to sit with that for a second, because this is something that I was talking about last week, and is the idea of the word unapologetic. And I feel like, especially as women, we have been programmed to apologize for being ourselves, for being too loud, for being too much, taking up too much space. And I just want us to stop apologizing for who we are and the space that we deserve to take up. And this isn't just women, this is women and men. I just find it more so, I notice it a lot in women. So, what this workshop was really about is helping more people show up as themselves fully without shrinking to make other people comfortable, without worrying if they're going to ruffle any feathers. Why do we need permission to show up as our true selves? When we feel like we're too much or too loud or that we take up too much space, this conditioning keeps us shrinking. It keeps us softening our edges, and we all have them, because we want to make ourselves more palatable for more people. And what this programming does over time, without us even realizing, is that it teaches us to mask who we really are. And for most of us, myself included, until I started in this mindset work, I didn't really know who I was. I am not my name and I am not my title or titles, who we are at our core. So we stay quiet, we stay small, and we hide behind a version of ourselves that allows us to continue to feel safe and comfortable. Even if we're pushing outside our comfort zone, we're doing it in a way that still feels safe, so we don't ruffle any feathers. We show up as we feel like we should show up. How should I show up in this room? How should I be? How should I grow my business? The shoulds, I tell you, people, we need to stop shoulding all over ourselves. We build businesses to look a certain way because we feel like that's what's expected. But that might not even be an expression of us. None of this stuff is a one size fits all. The first step is figuring out who you are at your core and just having the courage to be that person. We try to be someone that we're not for people who don't even really matter to us. Isn't that wild? We contort ourselves online so that people who may or may not be watching us care. We don't even know who those people are half the time. Our personalities, our businesses, our content, our offers, we set them to meet the expectations of other people, not the expectations or the values that we feel within ourselves. Then the people who we do care about, They have a version of us in their minds wasn't really us to begin with because we've been wearing a mask for so long. That is the cost of not being unapologetic. It's not that you just feel a little uncomfortable sometimes. It's that over time you drift further and further away from who you actually are at your core. And then one day you look up and you don't even know how to find your way back because nobody teaches us how to do this. I teach you how to do this. And there are other coaches who teach you how to do this, but it's not general knowledge. So, what the challenge was really about was not this content strategy and tactics. And I feel like naming it something like the visibility challenge, and that's what originally it was going to be is that confidence and courage to show up. But the more work that I've done with my clients and the more work that I've done on myself and the more research I've been doing into visibility and how we choose to be seen and how we choose to show up and how we should all over ourselves, it just became so much apparent that what was needed was something that was much deeper. It was about being bold and brave and courageous and giving yourself permission to show up as yourself for once, not just in your business, but in your personal life, both on and offline, in your relationships, and how you carry yourself into a room. I want to be clear. I'm not standing here telling you that I've got this all figured out. It's something that I'm still working on and will continue to still work on because new level, new devil. I am a different person than I was a few weeks ago, a few months ago, a few years ago. The things that I do and how I show up now, I wouldn't have had the confidence and courage to do it before. But I did it and I started. I started as I was. I still catch myself sometimes trying to not ruffle feathers or really find that kind of unapologetic, like authentic voice and really just speak what I believe to be true with more passion and more purpose. And I do notice, I still try to soften, and that's how deep the programming is. This is what I do for a living, and I'm still caught in the programming. So no one is kept safe. No one is kept safe from this. But it's the awareness of being able to catch yourself and be able to close the gaps to go back into that unapologetic energy, the energy of you. The world needs more you, not the you you're pretending to be, but the real fucking you. So be that person, please. Your people are waiting for you to have the courage to show up. The confidence I have now, the courage to be more me, to take up more space, that changed everything. And that didn't just happen overnight. It happened through continuously doing the inner work, working on my belief system, working on how I perceive myself alongside doing the tactical and the strategic work. It's all about identity. How do you identify? How do you identify to yourself? How do you perceive yourself? And how you perceive yourself on a conscious level might not meet how you perceive yourself on a subconscious level. And that's why we have to go deep. I was on a call, a group call yesterday with my mentor, and one of the women said on the call, and I think it's so fucking brilliant. She said, um, when I work with my clients, I don't just snorkel, I scuba dive. And I was like, yes, that is this work. That is what I'm talking about right now. And I love how she worded that. It's not my phrase, so I'm not going to take it from her, but I'm going to borrow it here because I love it. And it's so resonated with me because you can't fix this stuff surface level. You have to do a deep dive and it's going to be uncomfortable, but know that you're fully supported and safe moving through that process. It really does come down to deciding that you are done performing. You're done shrinking. You're done waiting until you feel ready or you feel worthy or polished enough to show up. Like having the perfect curated feed. Or I actually had a conversation with one of my clients today about body image, how she just realized she had a subconscious idea that she had to achieve a certain body image before she achieved her goals. That's interesting. That came up through the scuba work, going deep and really figuring out what are these blocks. You cannot outperform your BS, and your BS is the perception that you hold of yourself, the beliefs that you hold to be true of yourself on a subconscious level. It is your subconscious identity, and you cannot outperform your subconscious identity. This is the work that I am absolutely obsessed with right now, is helping more people shift that identity, become aware, and do it in a way where they feel safe, supported, and they know that even though growth is incredibly uncomfortable, that they can move through this and they're gonna be okay, and that everything that they want is on the other side of it. And I'm so obsessed with this that I've actually one of the other reasons I've been on hiatus is because I'm launching a brand new 6-month mastermind called Becoming Magnetic, where I'm going to help more people show up in their unapologetic energy so that they can attract more of the things that are meant for them. Because we attract based on our BS. We attract based on our belief system. I don't know if I've talked about this here, but I've this year I've gotten so many incoming requests for speaking. Incoming requests. I'm not out there chasing. I am getting these requests coming into my inbox um many times this year, and many of them have panned out and I'm very excited about it. But that is because of my visibility in being myself. And I want to help more people do that, because this is the thing. When you take off that mask, that is when the magic happens. And you can do it supported, and you can do it safe, and you can do it in alignment with you. There is no one size fits all for this. Actually like to say it's like, if someone tells you this is the way it should be, again, there's a should word, this is the way that you should show up in your business or in your life, or these are the things that you should do. It's like putting on a pair of one size fits all leggings. They never fit over my ass. Okay, ladies? There is no one size fits all, because we're all shaped differently. We all have different BS that we're working through. So I'm not on this podcast to do a big sales pitch for my upcoming mastermind. I will be talking a lot about the concepts on this podcast, because this is really what I'm deeply ingrained in, is helping more people show up more as themselves so that they can attract more of the things that they want. But I will say, if you're listening to this and you're nodding along, you can definitely throw me a DM over in Instagram, and I'd love to chat about this mastermind I'm launching. It's launching mid-June, but there are only 12 spots available. That's really for the entrepreneurs who are ready to do that deep inner identity work, that scuba diving work that I'm talking about. So, wherever you are at right now, whatever feels challenging for you, or the things that and I'm going to use the should word here intentionally, the things that you should be doing in your business, but for some reason you keep consistently coming up against the block. It's not the thing. The thing is not the reason you're not doing it. It's the idea that you hold about yourself that is keeping you from doing the thing and doing the thing with ease. You are allowed to take up more space. Actually, I invite you to take up more space. Take up so much fucking space, because here's the thing. When you take up more space, you're not taking space from someone else. You're giving someone else the permission for them to also take up the space that they deserve to take up. That is your right. You don't have to be quieter, smaller. You also don't have to be loud and obnoxious either. I know I'm like, I'm speaking with a lot of passion right now, but I really want to be clear that taking up more space and being more unapologetic, that doesn't mean being bigger or louder. It could mean being bolder, but I also think that there's a calmness to it as well, where you have this level of self-trust and self-certainty, and that is in the identity work as well. The version of you that you've been dialing back is the version that your people are waiting for. They are waiting for you to give yourself permission to shine. So be that person without the apology, without the performance. And the more you become, the more magnetic you become. And you don't actually change. You just stop hiding, and you get rid of all the BS excuses you've been holding in your subconscious mind that are trying to keep you hidden. That is the work, and it is so worth it. It is ongoing, and you can learn to embrace that journey and love that journey and find joy in that journey, even in the uncomfortable moments. Thank you so much for being here, for spending time with me today. If this episode hit home, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Leave me a review. I'm going to post if you are interested in the mastermind and you are interested in kind of more of the visibility challenge, I actually have the replays. They're open until the end of May, so May 29th, 2026. So you can register, and that's free. You can register for that and binge watch those episodes. I'll post those in the show notes as well. And I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Living Your Limitless Life.
Thanks for tuning in to Living Your Limitless Life. If you loved this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend. It would mean the world to me. Plus, it helps more people find my show, and we can create a bigger impact together. Until next time, keep dreaming big, taking bold action, and remember, nothing changes if nothing changes. See you next time.